Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wherever you happen to find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world we're in. This is another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the vampire venue. This evening's scene is set in the Indigo Lounge inside the Clontarf Castle Hotel, where our Tremere, it's not Toreador, Tremere, regent is sitting and drinking away some of the irritations of the past few nights. It's been a hard week. And I will let you guys introduce yourselves as you wish. And I will swap over to Kati's overlay because there we go. Not everybody all at once.
All right. Theodore has heard about this place, and I don't think he's ever been here before, but now that there's less doom and destruction and world ending, he's thinking yeah, I'll check this place out, see what's up. And yeah, Theodore is just checking out the place, just looks around. Seems agreeable to him, and he is simply going to take off his coat and his hat, and I'm just gonna find somewhere to sit.
Amelia was hiding in Theodore's car.
God
This
damn it.
will come out. With more chocolates, because it worked the first time, might as well. And we'll go to Theodore at first.
Yeah, Katya is sitting at the bar.
You know. Hey Theodore, thanks for the ride.
Oh, anytime. You know, you don't have to sneak in. You can just say, hey, I'm going here. Can I ride along with you?
Where's the fun in
I mean,
that?
well, when I start listening to things and you'll have a problem or questions about what you're hearing and what I'm listening to, well, you won't be able to say that if... Never mind.
You know you love it. Come on. Let's...
No, I don't. I really don't.
I brought chocolates. You'll get used to it then. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. Here, have a chocolate.
No thanks.
Well, I guess we're gonna move into the bar and push the chocolates towards Katya.
I suppose so.
Primogen, good evening.
Good evening, Amelia. Theodore. She is currently sitting there nursing a glass of whiskey.
Feeling better, or...
I will get there eventually.
Here, have a chocolate.
Katya will gladly take a chocolate because she has a raging sweet tooth. Pokes other two people.
I was about to unmute. I'll say at this moment, Elise will actually make her way into the bar. She will not go straight to the bar where the Tremere, Primogen, and the others are, though. She will find a nice table, order a drink from it, and she'll people watch them for a few minutes.
And Duco will enter. He sits about 5'10", wearing a slightly dated suit. It's kind of a grayish charcoal double-breasted pinstripe suit. He's got a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, and he's just kind of scans the room, and then takes a seat at the bar.
By the way, I will say it is known that this place is kindred friendly because it is owned by the Primogen of Clan Tremere. And currently, the actual hotel itself is closed for business, so the only people that are actually being let in are kindred. So it is safe to discuss any kindred related topics within this area.
Oh,
And
goody.
what masks.
And the Nosferatu do not have to be in mask. So
Nice place you got here.
thank you. It was ridiculously expensive, but well, when you have the money to spend, I suppose it's not terrible.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should buy something.
Theodore, you're quiet, darling. What's going on?
Admiring this ridiculously expensive place. Never been here before.
Ah, yes, I acquired it some months back for my clan, so
As always, impeccable taste.
thank you.
How's the security? If you need upgrades, I can help you.
Currently, security is improving. There was an incident a month or so ago.
At this moment, the waiter that was talking to Elise will go back to the bar, get a drink, and set it in front of Katja, and then point to Elise at her table.
Katya will kind of look over.
I think
If you're going to watch, you could at least come over and speak with us.
I actually, OC, did not know how big your bar was, so.
Oh, here, let me get the picture of it up real quick. This is the Indigo Lounge.
Okay, it was a lot closer up than I was imagining.
Yeah, there is more, obviously, further back that is just cut off in the photo, but
Jill joined the group and she was like, I was not quite sure how to approach you due to situations that have recently happened.
Katya will extend a hand. Primogen Katya von Essen, Clan Tremere.
Detective Elise Moore, Clan Bourgeois.
Upon hearing that, you see Katya's kind of calm facade falter a little bit. Hey, Bruja. She just gives a little nod.
Is something the matter, Primogen?
I was quite close with another member of your clan. One who recently met final death during the battle against Aishar.
Oh, I'm sorry for the loss.
I'm terribly sorry to interrupt this trying times, but Elise Moores, it is good to meet you. My name is Theodore Williams. And Silai, Clan Nosferatu. And yeah, you'll see this guy with his face that's bandaged up. He looks like the Invisible Man, just without the hat that's been taken off.
Nice.
But
Just, oh, were we giving our ranks also? It's nice to
uh,
be equal, she says, shaking his hand.
there's a nod on his head, and he says, "It is only proper manners. Although I might be a little bit old-fashioned in that respect, but oh well."
And I'm Amelia Ross. Obviously, Clan Nosferatu. Also on Scylla. Young at heart. Nice to meet you.
A pleasure is all mine. And she'll now look to. I'm not actually sure how to say the Lasombra's name properly without offense.
Isn't it Ducal?
Duco, yes.
Well, she'll look at Duko and she'll be like, a pleasure to meet you too, sir.
Ah, yes, thank
I
you.
know this
And he shakes her hand.
She'll nod. She'll give him a very formal smile. They will all note she does not show her teeth whenever she smiles at them, though.
I am Duco Travasino, La Sombra and Attribute of the Blood.
Meeting all sorts of new faces this evening, aren't we?
Quite so.
Indeed.
Yes, I heard when I left for a job that quite a bit of, excuse the French ladies, shit hit the fan.
Oh yeah, it was a proper clusterfuck.
End of the world. Well,
Well, we prevented that.
avoided, but still. What is it they say? Was touch and go for a while?
Quite.
Well, there's still some fallout we need to deal with, but at least we're here.
I would consider it a victory if the majority survived.
There were several who made great sacrifices.
Yes. Quite a few. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Theodore will introduce himself to Dooku precisely in the same way he did to Elise. You'll both know that he's wearing gloves.
Of course.
When you introduce yourself as an Ancilla, he does the same. Says that he's Ancilla.
Okay.
Amelia
Ah.
will continue being informal. And just
And
wait.
even though you can't really see it, it's quite clear that Theodore looks to her at some certain points and just looks down on her and just looks at her.
Just gives her that seriously kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amelia will wave. Hi, I'm Amelia.
What did we talk about? Never mind.
Yeah, and Scylla of Clan Nosferatu, yada yada yada, yes.
Your manners are terrible, my dear.
Well, yeah,
I try my very best, but
I
I'm
have other graces.
Yeah.
Some people can't look past the bad manners to notice your other graces.
I like
Well.
you.
No, I'm not one of them, but
Well, yeah, I don't tend to socialize with shallow people.
then you will lead an unlife of much loneliness.
Yes, we kindred can be quite shallow.
Well, I'm never afraid of solitude, let's say. I'm fine. Don't worry.
Well, solitude is something our clan is somewhat uniquely disposed to.
Well, solitude does lead to exercising your mind and calming thy rage.
I mean, you can never get lonely as long as you have Call of Duty, right?
What is Call of Duty?
Exactly. Katya gives her this look of, what are you talking about?
Oh, it's a video game.
Is that something related to the TV?
God.
Uh,
Electronic entertainment. It's
Oh,
don't ask.
young people stuff.
Quite so.
well, I guess only some of us keep progressing with the times, I suppose. Well, I like video games.
Well, some of us progress with the times in certain ways and avoid others.
Hmm. Yes.
Have you tried? I think you might like it.
I mean, I have recently bought one of those portable telephones. It is quite interesting and useful in my line of work.
Hmm. Been using those for over 2 decades now. They
And
used to be bricks.
well, I will say this much. Back in my younger days, we did not have phones, and most of the people in the city did not have television.
In my younger days, well, a phone would have been a entirely foreign concept.
Oh, what would you consider your younger days?
Is that as bad as asking a lady her age, Sir Duco?
Not quite as bad.
It very well could be, but I don't mind. My sire embraced me in 1670.
Oh my.
That was about 2 centuries before the first computer program was ever written.
Yes. So, needless to say, I had an interesting time watching things develop as they did.
I'm sure he did.
Bishop, get Francis in here.
That's what he's doing, I believe.
He's the slave.
No, you need to seal my sheep.
No, I want Francis, damn it.
Look at the wooloo. Look at them. Yeah.
Yes, I love the Wooloo, but I want my Francis, damn it.
Well, you're getting wooloos.
Give me my Francis.
I don't know, guys. Should we give her Francis or should we just
I've
give
got
her
to
sheep?
ask, are your sheep faithful?
Yes.
Then they're mine. I'm sorry, I'm eating all the sheep.
No, not that sheep. I'm not
I,
gonna
I
get
would
that
suggest
sheep.
bringing Francis in that case. Oh, fussy baby.
Fuck damn it. Okay, here's a Francis. Where are we
Okay.
at?
We are at the Indigo Lounge inside the hotel. The
Your hotel?
Chantry.
Oh, the Chantry. Nice.
Oh, by the way, I finally found a picture of the fucking bar. Look at it. He's so pretty.
Oh, it is. Hold on. Yeah. In which case, Francis just comes wandering into a highly secure Tremere-based facility.
I mean, technically right now most of the hotel is closed, so, and he knows that, Katya's probably here.
Yep.
Upon seeing Francis, Katya would kind of slide out of her seat and go over to greet him with a kiss on the cheek. Seneschal.
Primogen, good to see you again.
We were just having drinks. Care to join us?
Oh my, I think I will.
Aren't we in such esteemed company?
Ah, Seneschal. Just the guy I wanted to see.
While Francis is being brought over, Elise is showing Amelia a picture of her computer, which is like a very first old school retro PC.
Oh man, I haven't seen one of these in years.
Yes,
You
I use
go
it.
need an upgrade. Like immediately.
I only needed to type up documents.
Well, yeah, but it's better to type in documents faster. You know? These things are slow. Like, how much memory does it even have? Ugh.
Kind of raises an eyebrow at her. I
Uh,
know whatever was in it when it was bought.
Yes, yes. Well,
quite
uh,
old, it appears.
I need to make business cards. You people need me.
Well, or you have people to upgrade that sort of shit for you.
Business cards are quite important, my dear.
Well, I was talking about electronics, but sure.
I mean, if you think I need it, I don't think it's that useful when I can write with my hand much faster. And it's not like I can lug a computer around with me when I go undercover or into the field.
Yes, you can. We call them laptops. Welcome to the 21st century.
Oh, we call them phones.
Quite true.
Finally, someone who's more technologically adept, they say.
Just because I don't like video games doesn't mean I don't know technology, my dear.
Fine, fine. I'm sorry. Seneschal, do you like video games?
Please don't talk to
Francis does
Mind?
yawn, by the way. Evening,
Yes, what?
Theodore. And not
Good
really,
evening.
Amelia.
Good evening, Seneschal.
Good evening, Miss. I don't believe we've been introduced.
I'm Elise Moore, Ancilla, detective of Clan Bruja.
Detective, you say? Interesting. What brings you here? I dare say you're rather late.
Quite so. I was out of town on business, actually. I'm just getting back.
Convenient.
You missed all the fun.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
And Dugo will go to the central. I believe we've also not been introduced. I'm Dugo Travasino. Just made my introductions to the prince yesterday. I am Ancilla of the Sombra Anti-Tribute of the Blood.
He, his eyes briefly scan you. Kind of gives you a very intense look before simply saying, "Well, good evening, Mr. Trevisano. Welcome to the domain."
It's a pleasure to be here.
So many new faces at the epilogue of this fine apocalypse.
Francis will be brought one of his usual drinks.
Hmm.
Because Katya knows him well enough to, know what he wants.
Probably enough. Yeah, you know his favored
In
drinks.
so many ways.
I mean,
Thank you. Drinks. Yeah, I must say the cavalry is rather lacking in punctuality.
Oh, was there some kind of call to arms that I missed in America?
Well, only the third most dangerous kindred in the world attempting to destroy it, yes.
Also, there was a call to arms sent out to America, and I missed it.
I don't know that the word was sent to the US, but
And unfortunately, my phone was confiscated while I was helping with a drug bust, so I'm very sorry.
Well, if it's any consolation, I'm sure I sure would have handled the drug bust for you.
Francis, you're terrible.
Oh, yeah. Come on, it was funny.
So
You
why
get
are the two of you here?
Well, besides the fact I live here in Dublin, just enjoying a drink and some socializing.
I am relocating.
In what sense?
Yes,
I
is the
mean,
draft back in fashion?
I'm moving here from New York.
Well, New York's a very pleasant city. Why leave it?
Have you been to New York?
Yes.
Only once.
Once I was 10, it was loud.
Tends to be loud and rather smelly. But I've come here to expand on business.
Oh, you may be pleased to hear there are several anti-tribute here with you.
So the princess told me.
One's even got himself a bit of a following. You could even call him a local celebrity.
Oh,
Yes, and Mr. Shadid, if I recall.
Celebrities are all face, no real skill.
that the Omar fellow. Well, if you are moving to the domain, welcome. Even though the only welcome that truly matters has already been given, I suppose. But still, I must say it's
At around
interesting.
this time. Sorry. Carry on.
Oh, he was just gonna say, well, we had not so long ago a member of, well, the anti-tribute here, but sadly, Aisha Asha happened.
Katya kind of looks away when Theodore mentions that.
Oh, I believe the prince mentioned this individual to me.
At around
Did
this
he just
time.
die?
Around this time,
Go ahead.
I think. Yeah, sorry. Around this time, Derek will probably step into the bar, as it were. I think tonight he'll be going with a light grey pinstripe suit with, the appropriate shirt, tie, and the always fashionable pocket square. Because why not? And yeah, sorry about that. Hang on, I'll just close a few things. Maybe that's what's doing it. Or it might just be some of the windows that got open. Yeah, as soon as he walks in, he'll probably just go straight to the bar and he'll nod his head politely, not wanting to interrupt the rest of the conversation that's going on. But eventually, temptation is what it is. He'll just kind of nod his head towards one of the kindred that he does notice. In this case, Theodore. Pardon me, old boy, but what's the topic of the conversation this evening?
New faces, it seems.
Oh,
Well, hello.
Well,
Don't believe
new for
that.
me, at least.
yes. There's at least half of the kindred here that I don't recognize.
I was going to say he'd probably recognize Katya and Francis because of Primitive
Yeah,
Council
recognize Katya,
business.
Francis, Theodore. Rest of them I don't think he has met, but we'll go with it.
You've even murdered people together.
Evening, Primogen.
Good evening. I'm assuming, since everyone is here, that the apocalypse was averted. Apocalypse deferred, as it were.
Yes.
It was at great cost, but it was.
So I was made aware. My own contributions to the war effort, notwithstanding, of course.
Lise at this moment is quietly sipping a drink and letting the Seneschal and Primogen answer the questions.
Yes, apocalypse averted. And the Salubri once again rendered a clan. Of the Camarilla, even.
Lise coughs on the drink some and goes, "Excuse me?"
A Salubri landed the final blow on Ayashar and was granted the trophy boon from my clan. What he asked was that they be made a clan once more.
Oh, yes.
I can't imagine that, well, not knowing too many particulars about the politics as such involved in the process, I can't imagine that went over very well.
Katya, if you could just remind me what Justicar Carfax's reaction was to hearing the news. I can't quite recall.
Katya is trying very hard to hide a bit of a smile.
Allow me to entertain a guess. Would it involve a lot of wailing and incoherent yelling? Rather unexpected, or one would not behavior that one would not assume that one of Primogen Katya's clan would be capable of if I would be so brave to, or would be so bold to assume.
Now, we're not all emotionless automatons.
Oh no, I wasn't implying as such.
Suffice to say, I believe if a kindred could shout a house down, that would be what Carfax was doing.
Yes. Lord Stalheim took it much more calmly, much to my surprise.
But it is quite extraordinary times. Resurrection of a clan long thought dead.
Yes, we do most certainly live in some interesting times. I believe that's a turn of phrase originating in the Orient. Not a very pleasant expression, as I am told.
So I've been told.
You're also Primogen, I hear?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, Miss Ross, I'd hope you'd be aware of a Primogen in the city.
Well, I just met the guy.
Well, I did just call him Primogen, did I not?
Yeah, but Primogen of what?
Clan Ventru.
Oh. Oh, hello.
One would have
I'm
thought
Amelia.
that my pleased to meet you, Amelia. My name is Bond, Derek Bond. I'm the Primogen of Clan Ventru, and yes.
You want a martini, maybe?
Oof.
I'd
No, no.
Mm.
Oof.
Yeah, but yeah, you notice that Bond, he doesn't he's probably heard this joke enough times to the point where he's gone beyond it's frustrating to, yes, he just rolls
It's
up
a
his
fact of life.
sleeve. Yes, it's like, yes, I know.
I
Yes,
just
yes.
started randomly hearing it in like the 60s or 50s or something. Now he's just
Yes.
like, this is still a thing, guys? Really?
You are from quite a prestigious bloodline, are you not? Out of character,
For,
Katya does
Miss
know.
Amelia here.
Yeah, first were the 005s, then the 006s, then the 007s. Out of character.
Out of character, Katya does know, what bloodline he comes from. She's just making a point of being like, you kind of need to respect this guy.
Let it be inferred in character. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, yes, Derek will just simply nod his head towards Katya. Yes, it's common knowledge that I hail from the Mithras lineage.
She kind of, looks at Amelia.
Yeah, respectable bloodline.
And now she's pinching the bridge of her nose.
Elise is silently shaking her head at Amelia.
Well, I was not raised in a court, okay?
That's not the problem. The problem is that certain people try to, and you don't listen, and that gets somewhat frustrating at some points.
Okay.
Theodore just says as he just kind of sits back in his chair and just orders some, like he needs some blood, it seems.
Primogen Bond of the very respectable line. Very much pleasure to meet you. I'm Amelia Rosensil of Clan Nosferatu at your service. And so do a courtesy and a bow.
Theodore is given a glass of blood.
Derek, for his part, just simply gives Amelia a very, perhaps a little bit more generous bow of acknowledgement, if nothing else, than he probably would usually give, but nevertheless, he does it nonetheless before he looks over towards Theodore. This one's a certain improvement compared to the last one that I was introduced to of your of your clan.
Oh, I'd hate to ask, who was that?
It was the one in the. It was the one that kept changing their mask in the middle of Elysium. The one that I believe Madam Whisper proceeded to correct.
Ah, right. Not too bad. Simply quite the junior. Not well versed in, much.
Oh dear.
Is that about Rhea? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe her name is Ray or
Yeah,
something.
that might have been her name. I apologize. I've been introduced to so many neonates over the years that I find it difficult to keep track of them all. The more notable ones, I tend to remember their names.
Hmm.
By the way, Elise has scrunched up her face in disgust at Theodore's blood.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's something I'm playing off. Shauna knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was just like, yeah, he gets out his crazy straw and begins to drink. And yes, he does have one.
Yeah. Amelia will hide a chuckle.
Yeah. At this point, I will go ahead and use this to introduce Elise to Derek. And she'll say, Detective Elise Moore, Clan Bruja, and Scylla.
Pleased to meet you, madam.
The pleasure is all mine, Primogen.
Mhm.
Oh, that why did I not mention this earlier? Elise,
Yes.
you you might wish to speak of a particular clanmate of us. It appears he's moving in on your business.
And who would that be?
I believe he considers himself an independent.
Her eyebrow twitches some, and she
Fr-
begins to kind of crack her knuckles.
Francis just kind of rolls his eyes, as in like, oh, like as in the term is quaint.
Oh dear. Now look
Also,
what you've started, Francis dear.
yes, what was his name? A Pinkerton?
Pinkerton.
Yes, very large, grotesque-looking man. Hails from.
She's kind of begun to roll her neck, and as she does, it cracks. And where could I find this gentleman for a conversation?
Oh, I believe he runs a private detective agency.
God damn it! That's. She has
Oh,
begun to slowly push Katja's shot glass she was drinking from away from her. I don't want to break your property. Please keep this from me.
oh, I
Katya
thought.
nods.
I was under the impression it was shared by the clan. Oh, this is.
I have never worked with anyone else in my office with my clan.
Oh, what is a
My
shame?
clan tend to be brutes and not want to use their minds.
Oh, don't put your clan down.
Not all of them, of course, Primogen. But quite a few that I've seen around town are brutes. So, I guess I will have a discussion with him. Thank you, Seneschal.
Oh, yes, I hope I can insist in whatever fashion the Brujar clan decides to reunify itself in.
She's still cracking her knuckles because I still need to play on one of her flaws. Damn it. But she smiles very formally at Francis and she goes, and if you or Lady Katja ever need protection, I'm a very good shot.
Katya will just smile a little bit and look over at Francis.
Well, well, well. A face I haven't seen before.
Ah, but a
Oh,
phrase I've very
Charlotte.
much heard and said multiple times throughout the course of this discussion. Good evening, Lady Monroe.
Good evening, Charlotte.
Seneschal. Miss Von Essen. How are you this
Primogen
evening?
von Essen.
Excuse me. Primogen Von Essen. How are you this evening?
I'm actually quite well. How are you? Does she have the wings?
No, she does not have the wings.
I see you have freed yourself of your accessories.
Yes, I made myself rid of them quite soon after the events that took place. You said you were mentioning me. Nothing bad, I hope.
Why don't you sit with us and find out?
So, Charlotte, how's Uncle Umbergino doing these days? Amelia will wink.
She raises an eyebrow and smirks. Oh, I'm sure he's doing rather well wherever he is in the world. She will actually walk over to the new person that she's never met before, and she will extend a hand. Charlotte is what?
Which new person? Or am I the only one new?
There are two, unless you already met the new Lasombra.
Nope.
Well, you, just you, the Bruja, I assume. She walks over to you. Charlotte is a very fiery, red-headed woman. She's wearing heels, but normally she'd probably be about 5 foot, maybe something like that. She's dressed very fashionably. She has blush of life, or blush of health, rather. Really sparkling blue eyes. But she walks over to you, and she her heels click against the floor, and she extends a hand, and she will say, "Charlotte Monroe of Clan Toreador, and you are?"
Elise Moore of Clan Bruja. Ancilla, nice to meet you. And we'll take her hand. Is she wearing the cross, by the way, like in the overlay picture?
No, she's actually she's wearing a silver necklace that has a ruby hanging off of it.
Okay. So yeah, she'll shake her hand, she'll greet her. When she sits back down, she'll cross her legs, which y'all guys all I know based on your role-playing skills and research know what a skirt from the 20s looks like.
Is it really from the 20s?
Yes.
She actually it catches her eye a little bit and she's like, yes, the 20s was a wonderful period.
She Elise actually for a moment did stop to look at Katja's hand and like raise an eyebrow at Francis and her, and then return her attention back to Monroe and go, "Oh yes, it was a beautiful time." So
Yeah.
I
Big-
personally think it sucked.
life-filled.
Yes, I would have to
Especially-
agree with that, Madam Amelia.
Were any of
Wow.
you fortunate to be around New York in the 20s? It was a great time.
No, but I was in.
No.
She'll actually turn to the other person, and she will look at him, and she says, "No, but I was in New Orleans, and I imagine that it was just as well, if not better."
And I was in Chicago trying to
Ooh.
get into the university as a chick. Guess how well that went? Fucking awful time.
I was once. I believe I made a mention of going when I was 10. Like I said, it was loud and noisy.
I don't recall what. Actually, yes, I do recall what I was doing during the 20s. I think that I was in England at the time. I do recall, however, that the 20s were rather, well, they were a rather disappointing period. At least not compared to the 30s, but then again, I will say this about wasn't New York in Sabot hands at that time? Or is my memory failing me?
It was.
Well, either way, it was a loathsome place. I would avoid it if I were you.
Yes, the East Coast has swapped hands many times over recent decades. It's been quite a mess.
I will say this on current times compared to the 20s. It's a lot easier to do my job as my gender nowadays than back then.
Yeah, now you get me.
What was your job?
I was trying to be in law enforcement. I had to start my own agency, though.
Well, perhaps you might be interested in meeting Mr. Pinkerton.
Oh,
He
I
is of your
Oh,
age.
we've already
Yes.
brushed that topic.
Yes, we have.
cracking her fingers again. And she's like, yeah, competition is great, apparently.
Oh,
Mhm.
but by all means, a refresher I think would do us all some good.
Now, Francis, quit stirring the pot.
No, I prefer the Brujas direct method of resolving problems. Perhaps I'm in the minority on this, however.
A good tongue lashing cracks anyone, Parmesan.
Well, that and violence can be it can be all sorts of fun when viewed up close sometimes, but then again, that might be the martial instinct of my bloodline arising.
I've always found that a wickedly sharp tongue can do just as much damage as a sword.
Well, if only your mind was as sharp as your tongue. Well, we would have been in so much less trouble.
Ah,
But,
Theodore, I
oh
love
well.
your sass.
Well,
She-
you were the one who partly instigated this potential apocalypse. Unless I'm terribly mistaken.
She ignores you. And she actually
Good.
will. I'm sorry.
She should.
Yeah, your existence is of no merit to her. But she will walk over to the other new person who she doesn't know, and introduce herself as well.
Hello, I am Duco Travasino, La Sombra, anti-tribute of the blood, Ancilla.
Ah, another one. I see. Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Is it?
Mm,
I
It
couldn't
is.
help but notice the bit of disdain in your voice.
Oh, no. I find the La Sombra to be rather intriguing, if I'm
I'm
being
sure
quite
you
honest.
do.
And she turns around to Katya and she just smiles at her and she just says, "Oh, of course. I'm sure you find them much more interesting than I do, Primogen."
Oh, was it I who bloodbound someone else's lover?
I have no idea if you've ever done that, so I can't say. How are you, Francis? I haven't seen you for quite some time.
It's only been, what, a few days since the coming and going of a red lister,
This is true.
and the
But-
arrival of a new one,
A new one?
who could be any one of you. Curious, that.
Would you care to elaborate?
Well.
Good sir.
She looks to Francis.
1 second is.
Are you
'cause I
sure
actually
you want to know?
I believe, unless we wish to ignore an even greater threat than the individual who just tried to end the world, but by all means, let's stew in silence.
Yes, true. But it's just, well, you ask for something and sometimes you don't really.
Primogen, during the events within the, I suppose, bubble that Ishar created, the person we believed to be Ambrogino Giovanni revealed themselves to be Kementiri.
Well, that is quite a problem, I would think. Has anybody heard from the Red Alistair of Clan Toreador?
No, but I very much intend to contact them. And as a matter of fact, for just a cause, I believe this threat is of more prominence than a single Alistair, given the scale of this threat. Then again, Ishaw's worth more than one Alistair.
Ishar was worth more than one Alistor. We lost one in the process.
This does beg to mind a certain question, however, if we have two red listers in close proximity to one another, or at least apparently working within some degree of collusion. Formally, of course.
Ishar is dead.
Of course. Is this going to start a trend where it appears that all of the kindred on the red list are in some sort of horrendous coterie of some description? Or am I just being simply facetious?
Well, perhaps they were after the same thing, kinda. Like she wanted that book that got tossed in the Oblivion Gate or whatever you want to call it. Nobody's gonna get that
Possibly.
reference.
I actually did.
In
I'm
character.
afraid you've lost me
Yes.
in that regard. But in either case, mine was a poor attempt at humour, so I apologise for that. But nevertheless, has there been any direction put forward to deal with this menace?
Not as of yet. Not that I know of, anyway. Francis?
Even if there was, given that no one here has heard anything, would I be expected to share such information? After all, I believe you could reasonably assume that I would not be permitted to state anything either way.
Very true.
But if there was, I can assure that the two of you would be among the first to be made aware. Question is, whether she remains and whether she's here. She likely is.
Why though? She wanted the book. Book's not here. Why don't she go to hell and bring it back?
I don't
I
know
don't
whether she
recall
did.
Hell has visiting hours, but
Well, you saw what Ishar had to do to
Open a
open those
portal.
doors.
Yeah. Poor choice of words, sorry.
I certainly don't wish to have to deal with that again. I'm not sure about you. I certainly don't.
Definitely not.
I don't
That
think
was
it would.
some fucked up shit.
I don't
Sounds like I
think it
missed a
would.
whole lot of fun.
Excuse me.
Mm, fun is not what I would call it.
I do believe the seneschal was trying to say something.
Oh no! Please carry on. He begins circling his hands, as in for people to continue speaking. Oh, you are too kind. Well, I was going to say, I don't believe it would be the Red Lister's goal. After all, they're hardly a group of their own. If I recall, one of them just wants to kill off all of us one by one in some sort of demented holy crusade. Not too dissimilar from the Sabbat, but much more conventional. I would presume her to acquire for a different purpose after all. It's not as if an occult book contains a single spell now, although she may only be interested in the one. So while her means may be the same, I would expect her end to be quite different. After all, the clans themselves quite different in outlook. That reminds me, I'm going to have to speak to the Setites about this.
More knuckle cracking.
Charlotte's gonna find a chair in the corner to sit down on.
If you need a companion for that, I will gladly accompany you, Seneschal.
I would not recommend it. What is the term? They're quite insular. Their, he air quotes, high priest tends to be quite, shall we say, hands-on, very particular in how he goes about it.
Of course.
Is there going to be fighting?
Well, I would hope not. I would very much hope that they would be sensible enough not to resort to such base maneuverings, but then again, they did crudely and in a rather flagrant violation of basic decency assault the Master of Harpies just outside his own domain, so I would not expect much from them, if anything, to be completely honest.
Well, I will make myself available to you if you want, and I'll shut the fuck up. So I won't cause you any troubles.
Hmm.
But if you need the backup, count me in.
more than likely the settlers will be coming to us on this issue. After all, we're the ones with the how do the children refer to it online these nights? The deets.
Oh dear God.
I wouldn't know personally.
I believe
My,
we need a priest. He's speaking in tongue.
no, it sounds more like some sort of horrible gypsy language.
This is amusing.
It's trying to speak millennial. It's worse.
I believe it's referred to as leet speak, or some sort of bastardization of the English language used for.
Well,
Francis,
it's
Francis, with
simplified.
yes, Francis, with all due respect, please don't do that again.
And save yourself. And all of us.
I
It's the last
have
thing
no
that we,
issue with it.
the last thing that we want is for the younger ones to be making jokes about us, trying to use their language. It's rather tiresome.
But what am I if not a generous seneschal?
That's, to be honest.
May I pry on your generosity for a moment, then, Seneschal?
Language is not owned by anyone. You can speak however you want to speak. Language evolves just like everything else.
Yes, I'm old enough to know that there is a linguistic drift, and I have studied this phenomenon. I've even experienced it firsthand, but to be quite frank with you, seeing certain trends in the way that language develops over the years, over the decades, over the centuries, ultimately the languages still say the same. However, using certain references, it anchors you within a certain era, I find. And it's rather difficult also to get oneself out of the habit of using some of this dated language, this dated slang.
As those two chat on language, she is going to get Francis to write down the location of Pinkerton if he knows it for her.
I see. I believe it was made public on the gossip thread. It's probably quite a bit. It's probably quite a ways up now, but yeah, Francis will just give you the location.
Thank you very much. I shall send you a fruit basket in gratitude.
Derek merely smiles at Ellis. Break a leg, preferably not your own.
I would prefer it not have to come to violent blows. I believe anyone can be talked to civilly. Violence should come last.
Oh, if only these words were not so lost on the Sabbat. Alas.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yes.
I think I'll go grab some dinner before I meet this Pinkerton.
Oh, well, there is plenty of vitae available here if you wish to partake. In fact, I believe the good Primogen has been offering it on the house.
She cringes towards Theodore's shot glass again. Because, no, I'm in the mood for something particular this evening. If I may take my leave, I shall see you all later.
It was a pleasure meeting you, dear.
The pleasure is all mine, Lady Katja.
I do hope to see you again sometime soon.
You should call me for your upgrade.
If I decide I need something different for typing, you will be the first
Good.
my
Listen,
contact.
I'm not gonna charge you, okay? Just you need an upgrade. And probably speak to the Primogen Vanescent for a wardrobe upgrade, because you need that too.
What is wrong with my outfit?
Amalia,
Nothing wrong with it per se. Okay, never mind.
I quite like the vintage.
Yes, I was about to say it's vintage. It still counts. I look like a proper lady.
I think she looks rather lovely.
I feel personally attacked.
What was
that's
the
because you
term
personally
that they
attack
used
people.
in? Yes,
Well,
what was the term that they used for this style of dress at that time? Flapper.
I do not look like a flapper. Those club hussies can go to the pits of hell, she says with a wave of her hand.
okay.
Oh, that's what they were called then.
All right. Charlotte looks offended.
Well, I'm dressed like a punk. What can you do? I can't
If you
give you
don't mind. Sorry,
advice
carry
on how to dress, but it just never mind. Just call me and I'll upgrade your shit.
Very well. Think I'm gonna go pray and then get dinner and then handle Pinkerton, and she will take her exit.
Best of luck.
Praying?
Shame. I was going to ask her just what exactly they called her style of dress.
Cough cough. OC pigeon. Formal business. Cough cough.
Okay.
Does it have a name?
Not
They were
really.
usually called work skirts or work trousers back then.
Yeah.
Well, let me Google it. Amelia will
You'll
start
do
Googling.
what?
Now,
Adam,
hold
this is
on, hold
this
on.
is no.
I'm just gonna
Google Primogen. It's a way of searching for things on the internet.
Why on earth would they call it something so infantile?
Well, there's also DuckDuckGo, which is better than Google if you ask me. But anyway,
That is even worse.
well, the purpose. is what
She
matters,
kind of
not the
pats
goal.
Derek on the shoulder.
I mean, you could always use Yahoo or Bing.
Ugh.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, just rub it in, would you?
Yahoo.
This is truly a most
I'm not
degenerate
an
age when we call
archaeologist.
search, whatever you call them, by such
Search engine, Primogen.
engine, whatever. By such.
Oh, branding has always been about memorable catchphrases and snappy.
Yes, but none of them speak to searching. It doesn't insinuate that if you use this business that it is a business, isn't it?
Not
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
It's like it's more than a business. It's like a whole
Oh, don't
universe of
glorify it as a
businesses.
business. It makes money through advertising on its search engine.
Yeah, but Google owns everything nowadays.
That's
I
also
remember.
not explicitly true either.
I remember when Ask Jeeves was a thing.
Must admit that one passed me by.
Yes, I
Now,
also do not recall this
that
one.
one I could get behind. That actually sounds like some sort of function.
And I do believe that was a
Well, very well.
search
Google.
engine in like the early 2000s, I think.
Ancient
Okay.
history. Well, not as ancient as Yahoo, but anyway. Yahoo.
Before we give the good venture Primogen a hernia and heart attack and aneurysm.
I was
do
thinking
think
brain
we
aneurysm,
should
yes.
change the subject.
Probably a good idea.
Yes, please.
So,
I don't think I
yeah.
could stand any of this nonsense any longer.
Fair enough. Silence is so much better.
It is.
Sometimes it is. Yes.
Alas, I am compelled to break it, as I am. I'm intrigued what became of Ambrogino. I was aware he wished for the book that was lost, but to my knowledge, he's not come inquiring as to its fate.
Really?
You tell me, Order Nosferatu.
I mean, from what I understand, that wasn't
Dragnet owns everything now,
Ambrogino.
mates.
It is quite possible that it was never truly Ambrogino, but Kementiri instead.
Seems to be her signature to be able to pull such elaborate cons.
Of
Possibly.
course, you could have inquired about this if you had joined us in the air quotes after party. Cause she paid us a visit.
So you engaged in open conversation with a red lister?
It
Oh,
wasn't exactly conversation, it was more her talking at us.
And
Oh,
it
so
was an astral projection.
well, I did try to
Also
silence her.
that.
She was not physically there, but
So, I have a question, if you don't mind.
please go ahead.
During the final fight with Aishar, why did she choose to finally reveal herself?
She wanted
she
the book,
didn't.
obviously.
She
And I
wanted the
don't
book.
believe
She
Yeah.
I
didn't
don't
choose to
believe it
reveal
was.
herself.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Seneschal?
She didn't choose to reveal herself. She was forcibly revealed by another.
Exactly.
Well,
If she would have had it her way, she would have been able to abduct the book with none of us being the wiser. I say that with a great degree of wariness, given that there is very little that my eyes cannot pierce.
Well, you don't need to beat yourself up. You probably know of her reputation.
Yes, but in spite of her reputation, what can we earnestly say we know of her capabilities? Much as her power allows, she is very much wreathed in shadow. She is an enigma.
I can tell
what
you one thing for sure: her eyeliner was on flick.
what clan does she hail from?
She was a follower of Set.
That explains everything. I see. Hm. Well,
Well, no, what I'm saying is that it explains very little. That is the problem. We know very little of her, about her, despite the
that
centuries of inquiring, of.
We know she is a extremely capable blood magician, but aside from that, not much.
that there was a lot of sarcasm in that comment I made.
I reserve the right
Um.
to ignore it.
Well,
Perks of the role. You should try being a seneschal one day. You get to make lovely little faux pas about about things like this, and no one can call you out on them. Yes. I believe the trophy boon, however, is held by Clan Venture.
Which trophy boon would that be?
The one for Commentary.
Hmm.
Ah,
I know what I'd ask if I had that.
Well, by all means, she is out there in the world, just waiting for you to track her down.
Sorry, I'll pass. I
And you
don't
were
believe
so eager just 5 seconds ago.
I wasn't eager. I was making a joke.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, no. Well, now that you stated it, what would you ask for if you possessed the trophy boon?
I would ask for Primogen Bond to write a book in lead speak.
Now that's just cruel.
Francis
I
is
felt
gonna
I would
gauge
simply
Derek's
have
reaction
my
for
ghoul
this.
do it.
that's cheating. Just so you know.
It isn't if you're possessing them.
Fair enough.
Oh. Sounds like a horribly missed opportunity.
Well, if you take it seriously, sure it is.
But now we're reaching a point where are we to take anything you say seriously at all?
I believe I clarified that it was a joke.
To know, Primogen, did you take it as a joke?
I took it as a gesture that they do not take their chances of ever finding this red lister and defeating them for themselves seriously.
Amelia, that's a very damning indictment you make towards your own clan.
How so?
To play down your clan's abilities to find this red lister? Given that they are perhaps the most advantaged in their capacity to find them.
Well, finding
You should
them
really have more faith in your clan.
is one thing. The rest of them,
And yet, I do not see you doing either.
how do you know that I don't?
Because otherwise you'd have a gesture outside of humor. He
Well,
smiles.
if I'm tasked with it, I shall. Until then,
Oh, this is a red lister. You are absolutely tasked.
hmm,
We are all
Fine,
Seneschal, I
obligated.
don't think they're going to rise for the bait.
well, if you're challenging me, then I will have to try, I suppose. And I hope it's not a waste of my time.
It's never a waste of
And
your
here
time.
I was thinking that they wouldn't rise to your bait, Seneschal.
They just needed the extra push. Oh, he says they just needed the extra push.
Sorry, am I lagging?
No, I don't think so.
Am I lagging again? All right, okay.
Nope.
Sorry, what did you say in response to Derek?
He just said, I just believe they needed the extra push.
I need things to do anyway. Nobody has taken me up on any offer since I came here, so it's either I punch at walls or I punch at Sabat, I guess, or I have to do something.
Well, what is it that you wish to offer? Because I have not received any from you.
Well, I haven't seen you many times. I've only seen you in fights, and that night at the at the Elysium. But let's not divulge in that. Well, I can upgrade your security, I can write you programs, I can track people, I can do some other shady stuff, and I can fight. Big one. Or more.
I could use a box opened.
I can open a box.
I need the contents inside undamaged.
Yes. Easily done. What kind of box will that be?
Mostly, I can't remember if it had it was just a typical passcode, like just a manual, or if it was
I think it was just a keypad, yes.
This is gonna be fun.
I mean, you could ask Paul. He is in here,
Oh yeah,
and that's his
Hey, Paul.
plot.
Oh, right.
The
It's
plot.
actually false plot, right.
Indeed.
Hey there, everybody.
Conversation. Oh, that's cruel.
So yeah,
It's
was it
keypad.
it was keypad? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
It's keypad.
Yep, simple keypad, digits 0 through 9.
Our clan would very much like to assist you in this endeavor. However, Mr. Beaumont, that deal that was struck just before we, well, headed towards the park with Mr. whatever it is, Rumpelstiltskin, strange fella, you're still on, I assume? As in, you will be joining the festivities?
Francis attempts to recall.
The concert, or
Oh yes, absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
well, that's grand. I hope this will be done soon. We've had enough delays. Well, it just
Oh.
simply needs to speak with Fleur, I suppose.
About what?
Oh, we have to have a duet.
Ah, yes, I remember. She's just been so busy lately.
Yes, we all have been.
Yes, and that reminds me, Primogen Venison, we should also move forward.
Ah, yes, we were planning an event, weren't we?
Hmm.
We could speak with that after the others leave, if you like.
Hmm. We'll discuss it tomorrow.
Of course.
There's a few things I need to get caught up on in court, and well, make a few phone calls in relation to all the news that's been circulating in this room this evening.
Ah, yes, that reminds me. Charlotte would like to pull Francis into off to the side a little bit, if that's okay with him.
How do you go about doing this?
What's the space like?
She does the scorpion thing. Get over here!
It is a pretty large bar. There are
Sorry.
areas
sorry.
that are somewhat isolated from the rest of it, little booths that are somewhat closed off from the rest of the bar.
Okay. Well, in that case, it's not private business, but she just is gonna engage in one-on-one conversation with him for a moment, and she just says, "Oh, that reminds me, if you wish to drop by to discuss that matter, um, I'd appreciate it." Remember,
Of
matter
course.
that, yeah.
I need to start making notes because I have way too many secret matters that I keep forgetting.
Yes,
What
I
was
believe he also wanted to talk to Katya about, failed manipulation
things?
subterfuge role.
Yeah, you
Um,
need to get a secretary.
what did Charlotte? What's Charlotte referencing? Because Francis would know, just not me.
Before Morpheus showed up the last time we talked, you needed her help with something or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that may be unnecessary now, but no, he'll talk to her about it anyway.
Okay.
I do not need Siri. No, Francis.
Alexa, then?
No, I do not need your friends of make believe. Although I do need Google Voice. No, I don't. No, Francis will, yeah, just turn back to the group then and just say, well, what is there left to discuss, I suppose? This after party, what else occurred?
Oh, funny you should ask.
Was not able to make it, was having words with the upper echelons of the sect.
Well, there's this dude came in and he was given this uh, lollipop from the red lister, and the idiot ate it.
Yes, a mage, I believe, by the name of Douglas.
Oh,
Yeah.
really now? And all she.
Bound himself to Kementiri.
Well, that's fantastic. And here I thought she required a white van to pull off that sort of thing.
And yeah, then there was those hermetics that wanted to.
Can we not discuss that?
Yeah.
Francis looks at Amelia as in, oh no, please, do
What
discuss.
are the hermetics?
They are an order of mages.
Apparently, they hate the Tremere.
Why do they hate the Tremere?
I mean,
Perhaps we should not divulge all clan secrets tonight.
yes.
Theodore just says that with a smile as he leans back a bit.
I don't know. I'm always down for a bit of gossip, but that's just me being.
Of course you are, Francis.
Just me being a drama queen as always.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And on that happy note, Charlotte's going to pick up her bag and she will just say, "You'll excuse me, Primogen von Essen. I do appreciate your hospitality this evening."
Of
Seneschal.
course.
Seneschal, I'll see you soon. Good evening.
Lady
I'm gonna
Monroe.
go. I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
That was in character, by the way. Well, nothing bad happened anyway. We smoked cigars. Still have some left, if anyone wants.
No, thank you. Nasty habit.
Likewise, I'm simply not in the mood. Maybe another time.
Don't mind if I partake.
Well, if Primogen doesn't like it, I don't think it would be good to do it in here, so.
Of course.
Yes, it does leave a rather distasteful
In that
smell.
sense. You do not only not wish to partake, but not have it. Ah, I see. Well, we'll
The
have to look forward
Chantry
to it.
is not renowned for its lax attitudes.
You are free to go outside and smoke if you wish. There is
It's quite all right.
a patio that can be used. It's well lit.
It's fine, don't worry. In any case, cigars are for, special occasions, I suppose.
Now, there, my dear, you've got something right. It's always good to hear.
Well, yeah, I'm not Wolverine.
That
Wait.
one, I'm afraid I don't.
That was a movie reference, wasn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, comics first. But
Okay.
yeah, movie, yeah. Yeah. Theodore, we should watch X-Men sometime.
He sits there for a moment.
You may like it. You don't know if you try unless you try, okay?
I'd rather watch Amadeus again. That's a good movie.
Well, yeah, it's fun, but well, historically inaccurate. But anyway.
Oh, very much so. But good entertainment. Man, one cannot fault them for their soundtrack.
Fine, I will watch Amadeus with you if you watch X-Men with me. Deal?
Fine.
Win-win.
Is this... I'm guessing it's not something to do with Malcolm X?
Oh no.
Ah,
No.
okay.
It's based on a comic series. It's
Dear
like,
God. Okay,
heroes
fair enough.
with special abilities.
Ah,
Nothing like us, just different,
oh
I
well.
mean, technically, Quicksilver could be,
Well,
that could
just
bring
give
lots
me
of clarity, right?
1 moment. And Theodore will take up his phone and have a look at it. And he seems to not be able to focus on it. He just sits and just, damn it. And you will see that Theodore will remove his goggles. He'll just take them off and put them on his forehead to just better look at his phone. And just sits and stares at it for a while, types something in, and just sends a text. For those of you who watch or look at him, what you can see of his eyes, they're red, and they don't look particularly human. They almost look like octopus eyes, like mollusks' eyes.
You've only taken your goggles off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He sits there for a moment, types it in, and then he just puts his goggles back down and just pockets the phone.
You might find the concept of the X-Men more entertaining if you knew that it was made in the 1960s, and it's an analog for the civil rights movement.
Well, that is interesting.
There you go. At least someone knows how to sell.
Depends who you're trying to sell it to. Mind you, the last movie that I saw in the cinema was Scarface.
Oh dear.
Scarface.
Why am I not awfully surprised?
It was being produced by a notable tycoon of the era. I'm a rather eccentric gentleman by the name of Howard Hughes. I assumed that it was going to be at least a top-notch film, and in the end of the day, it turned out to be just another one of these gangster movies that were around at the time. Really rather boring. Haven't been to the cinemas since.
Scarface was no gangster.
Yes, it was.
He was no gangster.
A rather very poorly described, a very poorly depicted one, nonetheless. But nevertheless, it was what it was.
I like the Cocaine Mountain.
I don't recall there being any cocaine in the movie. There's a lot of speakeasies, though.
Back to 20s talk.
Yes.
Awful time. Awful time.
20s and 30s
Yeah.
were a great time.
Yeah, 30s were moderately better than the 20s, but
Prohibition. People were turning to racism because they didn't have booze. Yeah, great time.
Booze
Oh,
is more
trust me,
plentiful.
they didn't require the booze for that.
No, but if you don't have an outlet, you become worse.
Prohibition was one of the greatest things to happen to this country. To the country of America.
I disagree, but I'm not gonna argue. So take out her phone and start playing a mobile game.
I made quite a bit of money during that time.
I think most of us did. Well, those of us in the right industry.
Well, for those of us not within the greater United States, well.
Honestly, I've made the most money in the past decade by investing in Bitcoin.
Pardon me?
Oh, ah,
I was about to say Gesundheit
I'm
myself.
joking. I know what Bitcoin is. My ghoul has
okay.
invested in a little bit of this stuff. The technical aspect is a little bit beyond me, but essentially it works the same way as one would expect it. So, goodness me, the volatility of this thing is astronomical. One blinks one's eye, and suddenly it goes from being worth nothing to worth something, and then worth half as much as you expected it to be. Rather reminds me of the mark during the 1920s.
Oh, don't remind me. Oh, don't remind me. That was horrible.
Yes, I'm rather glad that I was not embraced inside of Germany during that period. I would have had a fit.
Well, I wasn't necessarily in Germany at the time, but close enough to be affected. Severely affected.
And to this day, no one seems to understand that one must base a currency upon labor, not upon labor or gold or some other precious metal.
My bank account is not complaining. That's all I'll say.
Well, you can bank on speculation all you want.
I wouldn't call it speculation, I'd call it calculation.
Bitcoin is a speculative asset, much in the same way as the stock market is, my dear.
And it's something that you can influence.
It can also crash.
Yes, I mean, how exactly can you influence something that no one has any control over? It's another thing that I find rather disconcerting about this Bitcoin. No one seems to know who created it, much less who possesses the majority of these bitcoins.
All I know is that I don't possess them anymore because I cashed in long ago. And it was a good day.
Well, lucky you, I suppose. Personally, I don't trust anything that I cannot hold in my hand. When it comes to currency, anyway.
How about stocks? Don't you buy stocks?
I've possessed stocks, but I at least had a written accord stating that I owned as a receipt that I owned a certain amount of a company's stock, and that I could go into the establishment or establishments where the stock held worth, and I could see what my investments were doing for themselves.
Well, back in the day, the investment that I did in Bitcoin was nothing that I would consider significant by my current finances. So I call it a win.
I don't
But
think it will
you're
catch
right.
on.
Well, I think you are right, however. It's not stable, it is risky. But for a few of us, it worked quite well.
I never got into that whole thing. Betting and trading and such. Seems to appeal to, well, I never saw the point, honestly.
Betting is a different
It does tend to attract the worst kind of economists, I would find.
Hmm.
That it depends on what kind of betting you do.
What kind of economists would that be?
I think we all know the kind of economists.
Francis, dear, are you alright? You've gone quiet.
Oh no, just relaxing in the open nature of the discussion. Although I should get going. I do have a few errands to run this evening, and as I said, some calls to make, so
Well, it was good seeing you.
Seneschal, before you leave, could we arrange a meeting? I do have a request. Formal one.
You will be at the Elysium in a few evenings, will you not?
yes, I'll be in the museum tomorrow, so we can discuss that.
Fair
Oh
enough.
dear. I just realized it is Thursday, isn't it? Oh. Time seems to have escaped me.
Something the matter?
Oh, just taking care of things after all that's happened. I had several things to see to, so.
Well, I'll hopefully be seeing you all very soon. And Primogen, thank you for your hospitality.
She nods and gives him a kiss on the cheek.
And smiles. Primogen Bond, good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you too, my seneschal.
And with that, Francis will take his leave and wish the rest of you a good evening.
Good evening, Seneschal.
Now, just because the Seneschal left, let's not let the conversation die down.
Seems odd.
What does?
This whole red list of business. One of the most dangerous, and then the most dangerous appears not, well, as at the moment that one dies. Trouble seems to like this city.
Yeah,
Strange.
Dublin seems to be like the
Yes, one might
Main
almost say
Also,
this
crowd.
place is cursed.
Well, it is not the only problem.
Well, what a time to be dead.
Quite.
Indeed.
We might be fighting someone else. And I'm not talking about this other red lister, no, I'm talking about someone else. So,
You know something I don't?
Yes, you're
Quite
being
possible.
awfully
quite
squirrely.
possible. I need to speak with my Primogen and hear what the prince has to say first, before I can truly discern what is going to happen, but yes, perhaps. And yes, I am being vague.
Yes,
I
the
do.
suspense is killing us.
I do have to wonder if we'll be aiding France in retaking Paris.
Again?
Well,
Well, if you recall, Primogen, during the battle in Waterford, there
Oh,
were...
my dear, I do believe he was referring to the Second World War.
Mm.
Yes, it was a rather crude joke. I apologize for that.
She kind of tenses up when that is mentioned. But yes, there has been trouble in France given the recent Sabbat invasion.
I'm presuming that this is the sort of problem that would require, how can I put this? A very special blend of careful, calculated diplomacy and extreme violence.
Quite possibly.
it's really troublesome. I left Paris to come here and help with the Sabbat, and then the Sabbat went to France.
Yes, we were nothing but a distraction,
Ugh.
so it seems.
Well, technically, I wasn't just for the Sabbat here. I was for the prince, but anyway, that's. I hope we can help them.
Yes, given the current situation over there, it's delicate.
So many enemies.
So many enemies, so little time.
Well,
What?
we do have forever.
That is true.
That is true, but there's only so many hours per night, and we are in the summer.
Yes, when we have even less time.
You have to look at the bright side. At least we're not in Sweden.
This is true.
That is true.
Because that
Yes. Yes. I'd go mental with those. What do they call them? They have that strange name, strange business. What they call it?
you have to be a bit more specific.
Their logo uses the same colors as the Swedish flag. I think they do construct. They're sort of like the Ottoman Empire in a way. They're sort of full of furniture, I'm told.
Oh, IKEA.
Yes, my ghoul tells me that they're a source of great frustration for the youth these days.
Their furniture is nigh impossible to put together.
I wouldn't know personally, but apparently my ghoul finds it rather frustrating whenever he has to use their service. I'm rather surprised that the company is even still in business if they are so notoriously bad for their products.
I'm rather surprised that you allow your ghouls to buy from IKEA.
Well,
I don't like the furniture myself, but my ghoul seems to like them for their own apartment.
well, might I take a stab at it? It's cheap.
Yes, exactly. Cheap, low quality.
Yes, I recall helping some of the neonates when I was Primogen in Orlando, dealing with that company and all of their cheap, rubbish furniture.
Yeah, it's crap.
One almost wishes that they would just simply go back to the traditions of their ancestors and simply come across these shores in longboats.
Now that is quite the time ago.
Oh
well.
well, yeah, I don't.
Yes, not even I am that old.
I don't think that will ever happen again.
No, I do recall that Ireland was particularly beset by their number.
Got to commend their initiative. I mean,
Yes,
you
that
have
is
to
true.
really want to get here
Oh yeah,
to
they used to
row across the
fierce.
North Sea. But I, as well, must be going, although... Amelia, will you be able to get yourself home?
I'm a big girl.
I can send her in a car, my dear, if
Perfect.
you,
I
if you
have
wish to go and she wishes to
I
stay.
have an errand or two I need to see to.
Yes,
Well,
don't worry
everyone,
about it.
a pleasure as always. Goes over, takes his hat, puts it on, puts his jacket on, and he just says, "Well, until we meet again." And Katja, I really also hope to see you at the Opera House.
I will likely attend with the I will likely attend with the seneschal.
Indeed. Well, good evening, and he will leave.
So, and then there were four.
Well, I think I may have exhausted any of the particular topics that I could discuss. Well, topics that I do believe those present would be inclined to be interested towards. Is there anything that has happened recently that I should know about that hasn't already been
Katya's
mentioned?
is going to pull him aside, kind of in an area of the bar that is kind of cut off. Have you been appraised of the situation involving the Prince of Paris?
No, I haven't. Is it bad?
Myself and the Seneschal have been informed that he is being held captive by the Sabbat.
Where exactly?
We do not know. As far as we know, we were told by a anti-tribu of my clan and a Nosferatu of the Black Hand that he was being held, with no indication of where or by whom. I think Francis wanted to keep it quiet, but I feel like the Primogen Council should be made aware.
Thank you for letting me know. I will not let this knowledge slip to anyone that it does not need to know, let's just say.
She nods.
I will no doubt assume that Prince Hennessy and the rest of the kindred in authority will be taking steps to lead an expedition into Paris in order to liberate the prince.
I should certainly hope so.
Then you may inform the seneschal or the prince, whomever would be appropriate in this instance, that they may have my sword.
I'm certain we'll be glad to have it. You are very capable.
Those
I've seen
little
that much
bastards.
myself.
Mm. Yes, the bastards of the cult that is the Sword of Cain didn't learn the first time they crossed swords with me. I don't presume that they will learn on the second try or the try after that, or any other that will occur.
They're fanatics. They'll never learn.
Of course. But still, that doesn't mean I shouldn't go forth. But anyway, I don't want to leave our friends here.
Yes, we should get back, shouldn't we?
And yes, trot back over to the gruesome twosome that is the newbies here.
Unless they
I have
had
no idea
something
why.
to talk about while Katya was informing Derek of this situation.
What are we talking about?
Probably them.
Secrets.
It's one Primogen to another. I'm sure they're discussing state secrets.
Huh. I'll find out eventually.
I'm sure.
Part of what I do. So, you're New York, right?
Yes, I am a New Yorker.
And you really like the 20s.
20s and 30s, yes. It was a good time.
For you, perhaps. From where I'm standing, it took me 3 tries to manage to get into the university.
I didn't even try.
Well, I don't know what you wanted to do, what you needed, but this is what I wanted to do with my life. I was always good at math. That's what I knew how to do. I had a purpose, and I was almost not allowed to realize it.
Because?
Because I'm a chick.
Mm,
They didn't like that. Even though I had far better grades than most of them, but anyway, that's why they eventually allowed it, of course. But it took some effort. All good now, I suppose.
mm. I was once just a young Italian immigrant living in New York. It's amazing what things can happen.
Well, New York must have been worse than Chicago with all the Sabbat there. I mean, we had lots of fights there too, but I mean, forgive me for being maybe a bit too curious, but how would it have been for you specifically living in in a crockpot of a city as a La Sombra?
Well, New York was in transition during my embrace.
I mean, yeah, but it has changed hands so many times.
That it has. During Sabbat hands, I relocated with my sire to Chicago.
Hmm. What year might that be? I don't seem to recall you.
We kept a low profile and didn't stay for very long.
Oh, fair enough. I traveled quite a bit as well after a time. Haven't been in Chicago for, oh, shit, been some time.
We tried not to poke our heads up above too much. Being a somber anti-tribute can be a
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, I imagined.
You guys can return at any time mid-conversation.
Katja would come back and sit down at the bar and grab her glass. Because eat food merit for the win.
Waste of freebies.
At least I can blend in with mortal society.
Have you seen me? Like, that would be like.
Yeah, it'd be a waste for your character.
I mean, yeah.
Welcome back from your discussion of state secrets.
Now, assuming we're discussing state secrets.
One primogen grabs another and takes them off to discuss things in private.
I suppose it could look that way, yes.
Well, they are primogen after all. That's what they do. They're supposed to be keeping the peace and whatnot, right?
That is one of the duties that the Primogen have, yes.
Hmm.
And apparently for the Tremere, it's also building IKEA furniture. He says with a smile.
Well, helping my clan's neonates has always been a part of my job.
I'm surprised you would allow cheap ass furniture like IKEA in your turf.
Well, I'm certainly not going to buy their furniture for them, and if they cannot afford my taste, well, I deal with what they can afford. I am generous. I am not that generous.
That's fair, actually.
After all the drinks have been on the house. At least until we open properly.
It does lead me to wonder, is it possible that the Tremere have a spell that helps with building of IKEA furniture?
I I'm not sure that this is how this works, is it?
No, it is not. And no, we do not have one. I wish we did. It would make my life much easier.
Oh, please don't. I'm suddenly reminded of the story of the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Well, I mean, if you could make things happen like that, it would be kind of neat.
Yes, but there was a point to the story.
That makes me wonder. Is that why the Giovanni are dealing with necromancy and stuff?
In what way, dear?
I don't know, maybe they raise zombies so that they would make their IKEA furniture for them. That's what I'd do.
If normal human intelligence couldn't figure out IKEA furniture, then I would hate to see what zombies would put together.
Well, if anything, it would be entertainment.
I could always ask Florin at some point.
Well, would he tell you?
Hmm. Possibly. We'd have to see.
Well, if he does tell you, I mean, if you do ask him and he does tell you, uh, I can keep a secret. Just saying. Just putting this out there. Awkward silence.
I mean, it's only awkward if you make it awkward.
I just did.
Maybe the scene has reached its conclusion.
Yeah, I think we can
Yeah.
close up.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the vampire venue. See you next time.
Buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, I need to find something to do with all the money.
Okay, come on. You can stop any time now.
Yes, we'd rather like to stop now.
I pushed the button. It's just not working.
Give it time.
And it's going to push the button. Well, in this
Oh
case,
God.